I have special interest in Africa because, like my good friend Subhash Thakral, the president of the London Chamber of Commerce, we were both born in Uganda, and we both made a visit to Uganda after 42 years last year. And I was quite pleased to see the transformation Uganda has taken place. But my special interest when I was a backbencher was Commonwealth, Africa in particular. And I visited a number of African countries and I saw how Africa is progressing. So I have a very, very special soft touch for Africa. I love the continent. Too often the views of Africa in the West is outdated. We think of Africa as a continent always in need of handout, when in fact it is some of the most thriving businesses and economic activity in the world. We need to stop thinking of live aid and recognize that Africa is home to some of the 15 fastest growing economies in the world. And an examination of countries around the world, the greatest recent progress in well-being shows that 8 out of the top 30 countries are from sub-Saharan Africa. This is not to say that the continent is without problems or poverty, but trade and education always be the best way to build a sustainable country, a sustainable continent like Africa. And I'm glad Ashok and Vijay have taken this initiative to promote trade and cultural links with Africa. The government has always recognized, but now speak on behalf of the government, we have always recognized that we need to build a stronger culture, diplomatic and trade relations with Africa. We have reversed the previous government's constant attempts to close our diplomatic missions overseas, and we are opening up to 20 new embassies and consulate in the continent of Africa. So that is good progress, and each of our consulate or embassies now have UKTI representative to make sure that we trade with Africa. It's in the interest of Africa and our country as well. Africa's recent success is perhaps the biggest untold story on our planet, but Britain will be there to support and trade with a continent that will dominate the world economy in future decades. And I was talking earlier to my good friend Subhash. He was mentioning about the article in Financial Times today. There are 55 billionaires in Africa. Our original estimate was 25, so it shows that the continent is progressing. This decade has been Asian. Korea, Japan, India, China. You can be rest assured the next decade is decade for Africa. And we look forward to doing trade and cultural links with Africa.